Let's introduce a comedian who grew up in Los Angeles and now lives in London. Please welcome Desiree Burch.
Hello.
Hello, Desiree.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's brilliant to be here.
As someone who grew up in America, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling all the feelings, Adam. Like, I don't know, heartbreak, despair, enraged, just sort of not wanting to get my hopes up, but having to get my hopes up because now there's a groundswell and things are happening. And, you know, I think it was really important to frame, you know, George Floyd's murder in terms of the pandemic. Like, I think you can't understand this moment without thinking about what we have all collectively around the world been going through. And then also remembering that all over the world, Black and brown people are dying at even, you know, greater rates than everybody else, simply because of systemic racism. Like, all the reasons that are cited go back to systemic racism, you know? And so this movement is not just about George Floyd, you know, it's about, you know, Breonna Taylor, who would have been 27 today. It's about Ahmaud Arbery. It's about Tony McDade, the trans man in Florida, who was killed 2 days after George Floyd. Most people don't even know his name, you know? Like, I mean, ultimately, like, you know, that police officer leaning on his neck is pretty much like the poster child for what is going on right now with white supremacy, especially as it pertains to America. I mean, if you go to Minneapolis, like most cities in America, it's highly segregated. Like, you can be in these cities and you can feel the gerrymandered lines around you because you can look across the street and go, those people look radically different and live radically different lives than I live. Like in Los Angeles, Rodeo Drive goes through Beverly Hills and it also turns into Skid Row. So literally the wealthiest people and then the poorest people are across the street from each other, looking at each other going like, why is my life like this? And why is it okay to look at me, you know, suffer like this? And, you know, people have really had enough of every sort of, you know, race and class right now. And I mean, honestly, like white people have had enough. Like, aren't white people, like, aren't you guys sick of seeing all of this stuff pop up on your feed? And you're like, how many people can keep dying in the same day? Like, aren't you sick of not knowing which emoji to use? Like, do I have to stick to the default Simpsons yellow or can I use the white one? Does it look like white power if I do the fist? Like, am I appropriating? Like, don't we want to move on to a day where we have, like, can solve bigger problems together?
Yeah. And have people been seeking your advice?
Oh, girl, you know, like, so many people. Like, within the first 24 hours, I had no fewer than 35 messages, WhatsApp, text, Facebooks of like all of my very lovely, well-meaning white friends like, oh my God, are you okay? And like, I don't know how to respond to that because I kind of want to be like, are you okay? Which I know sounds adversarial, but like, is any of this okay? And like one of my friends was like, you know, you must find some time for like some self-care. And I was just like, yeah, because nothing cures institutional racism like a Lush bath bomb. Like, what the fuck, you know? Like, I mean, God bless her. Like, I know she meant well, right? But like ultimately, you know, I think everyone's sort of trying to do this. Like, people conflate not being a racist with being nice, I think a lot, especially here. And so they're just like, I'm trying to do the nice thing and I don't know what to do and I'm being awkward about it. And, you know, like I got all of these things like, you know, talk to me. If you need someone to talk to, you can call me. And I'm kind of like, bitch, we don't talk. Like, we did 2 mics together. Why are you messaging me right now? Like, you know, I get that you know, like, I guess that they want to do the easy thing, which is being a good friend to a person of color. And that's a lovely thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. It's an easy thing to do. The harder thing to do is to be self-investigative and look at your own sort of white bias and internalized white supremacy and to do the reading and to stand up for people in action. It's harder work to do. So like being a friend is a start, but it isn't the end.
And a lot of white people are finding it hard to know what to say right now for fear of getting it wrong.
Yes. Okay, look, you're gonna get it wrong. All right. We all get it wrong. We all don't know stuff until we go out and learn the stuff. It is okay to get it wrong. What's not okay is to not say anything because you're afraid and your sensibilities seem more important than another person's life or well-being, right? Like, you know, I think that a lot of people are kind of like, what can I do? Yeah. So here's some things that you can do. I'm just going to give you this one for free, a couple of these. So one, white people, please stop blocking all of your friends on Facebook and social media. Like, like everybody's canceling all of their friends this week. Like, I can't deal with this racist, and we're having fun. And it's like, wait a second. Like, if you want to be an ally and an anti-racist, right? Like, you literally have the chance to deal with this person. Like, you are a spy for the resistance right now. Because the thing is, those people aren't going to say those things around me or other Black people. They will say them around you. And you are the only person in the room where it happens, where it is racism, to actually question them and to do that. Like, don't be like blocked and reported and then turn around to me like, what can I do? I'm like, bitch, talk to your racist family right now. Like, they're not going to hear it from me. Like, you have an opportunity to do this. And like, I know it is frustrating to go through the fights. And like, I just want to say, I know you're exhausted, but unfortunately, especially for white people, like, you just haven't earned the right to be exhausted with fighting racism yet. I'm sorry. Like, you got to get back up and get into the fight. And if you're exhausted with fighting, try questioning. It's really good to just be like, huh, why did you say that? Like, why is it okay? You know, why isn't it okay for people to like damage things in a riot? Like, why is it okay if it happens after a football match? You know, like, why did you say that thing? Like, where does that belief come from? Just be an annoying 3-year-old to every single racist person in your family, because it'll force them to question themselves and go like, I guess, why did I say that? What is it that I have in my head that made me believe that thing? And also, just another thing, I know that everybody on their Facebook walls got like a huge reading list posted on it, and we're all gonna like buy all of Ta-Nehisi Coates' books and everything, but I know like nobody's reading during lockdown. We all meant to catch up on our reading, and we're all doing 8 hours of watching Netflix. It's fine. So an easy thing to do is to like follow Black artists and thinkers right now on your social media. People are posting their anti-racists out there that have really good resources, information, opinions, insights. Like, there are artists out there who have been overlooked, whose work is out there. Like, honestly, right now, I have 2 shows that you could watch on the internet, okay? Like, Desiree's Coming Early, my last one, I talk about systemic racism vis-a-vis the, the IQ test and how it affected me as someone who went to Yale. But I do it in terms of like jokes and talking about going to Burning Man. It's super fun and easy. You can go to Soho Theater's website and look at it. You can go to my YouTube and watch a show I made called Tar Baby, where I tell all of my Black ass stories from all my Black ass life. You can get an inside perspective of what it's like to grow up Black in America and, be between capitalism and racism, right? Like the things are out there. And once you find someone, you'll then find who influenced them, and someone else. And you do the listening work now so that you're prepared when that moment happens.
Her afterwards, she was lovely.
She's lovely. She's
she
great.
said, "Here's my card if you ever need a one-legged stripper."
Have you got that card?
What was great was watching Alex on the red carpet.
This girl went to me, oh, Alex, can you sign this for me? And then she went, actually, can you sign this?